Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the IT&T webinar for this month. Really appreciate everyone joining us today. We've got a few more minutes before the presentation begins. I'm going to share my presentation on just the first slide. Make sure that comes through. Right, and hopefully everyone can see that first slide. I'm really excited about the presentation today, folks. We are getting a lot of requests here at IT&T for support and ideas around using voice AI a little bit better and more so in businesses. So I'm going to give you a really good overview today of AI voice. We're going to use a demonstration as well. We've set up a number of trial AI voice accounts now for clients. So we're going to do an interactive trial today with a one that we've set up for a radiology customer. I'll be bringing that towards the end of the presentation and give you an idea of just how far this voice AI has come. So just a few more minutes. Yeah, we had a lot of people register for the session today, and just a reminder that all of our monthly webinars are saved on our dedicated IT&T YouTube channel. So you can go back and share these webinars with your colleagues, or you can go back and review any information that we present on these monthly webinars. And that'll be uploaded, usually within a day or two after the webinar has finished. All right, folks, look, it is just on 12:30 now, so I might get started. So as I mentioned, this is a very popular and hot topic in the IT community at this moment in time. Voice AI, along with loads of AI, is gathering a lot of attention within the business community with ways that we can all become more efficient and better at the work that we're doing, and we can offload some of the more mundane tasks that everyone has in their day-to-day jobs to AI, and allowing us to focus on higher value or more customer facing work. So the topic of today's webinar is AI voice assistants versus traditional IVR, which is how we've traditionally set up our phone systems to better manage incoming calls. So first of all, just a bit of an overview of today's presentation is we'll be obviously giving an overview for those of you that aren't familiar. We'll give a presentation introducing you to traditional IVR, and then how AI voice assistants might differ from that traditional model. I'll give you some comparison. We'll do some use cases. We'll dial into a voice AI so that you'll be able to hear and interact with this voice AI, and we'll finish up with some recommendations. Okay, so what is traditional IVR? It is an interactive voice response system using pre-recorded menus and keypad inputs. So in other words, if you've ever called a call center or any of the businesses that we look after, press 1 if you'd like to speak to reception, press 2 if you'd like to speak to accounts. That's the traditional IVR model. So how does IVR work? It works in a very simple way. So the process begins when a user initiates a call to a business that has an IVR system in place. The IVR system plays a pre-recorded menu, which prompts the user and guides the user to do something next. Then the next step is an input using usually the phone's keypad. So the user responds by pressing keys appropriate to their request. Press 2 for accounts, and that will then dial the accounts extension within the business. So based on that user input, the system routes the call to the appropriate human or service agent within your business. So the benefits of IVR, it's a very cost-effective solution. So usually it's there's no ongoing costs once you have the system in place. It does mean that you can route calls, your clients can route calls themselves better within the business in case, basically takes the call directly through to the people or the person in your business that is able to handle that call in the best possible way. It's a very structured workflow, which means it provides a consistent and organized call management process, and it does efficiently handle large call volumes without necessarily overwhelming your staff. There are, as most people know, though, there are some limitations. The menus are very rigid. They involve pre-recorded, so there's no option for a client to usually just skip through to find the correct person within your organization. Often it leads to a poor user experience. So particularly as the organization gets larger and larger, the IVR system tends to have to get more and more complicated, more menus, more sub-menus, more sub-sub-menus for the client to go through in order to get through to the correct department or person within the business. So that can often lead to frustration for your client and inefficiencies. Typically, we see in very large organizations, in particular, we see users typically struggle to understand the nuanced requests, and it leads to quite a lot of abandoned calls before they get answered. And this is where we believe, and a lot of people believe, that the future of phone systems lies, and that's with interactive AI voice assistants. So they are defined as intelligent or semi-intelligent systems that understand spoken language, that can respond naturally and facilitating a seamless human-to-computer interaction. The key technologies are that they rely on large language models, and natural language processing to interpret and generate human-like responses. Their application is broad, everything from use in smartphones, smart homes, but particularly what we wanted to focus on today was in customer service. So how to provide that hands-free assistance to improve the user experience. So how do AI voice assistants work? They always start with the phone call to the business, and there's a speech input coming from your client. Using natural language processing, the AI voice usually has an ability to pick up intent within the customer and then provide that intelligent response. So how do they work in traditional methods is usually speech to text, and then machine learning and integration APIs. So what that means is that in the more advanced AI voice solutions that we've been working with, is that the voice AI will be integrated with your CRM or your business software to be able to make decisions on the spot and to record the text of what the customer has been saying in that interaction. The other thing I should mention about traditional IVRs, of course, is that they are very static. So if you need changes made to your IVR system, you're going to have to pay somebody usually to make those changes for you versus a voice AI, which is interactive and learning. So some of the benefits of voice AI assistants are that particularly as we go on, we're getting much more natural AI voice models. We've got different languages, we've got different tones. Typically, we can design an AI voice with the Australian language. It can be male or female. You can be older or younger voices, depending on your needs. They can be joyful. They can be more somber, depending on the needs. And again, one of the great benefits is it can lead to much faster resolutions. So they can provide quick answers and efficient task handling, saving time for your staff. They can also provide a very personalized experience. So we can tailor responses based on your user preferences, which again is designed to enhance engagement and satisfaction. One of the greatest benefits we're seeing is being able to answer calls when all of your staff are either busy or out of hours. So the benefits for business are that calls can still be answered. They can still provide some level of customer experience to your users rather than just getting an engaged signal or your potential clients just dropping off before they've even reached through to your business. Everything is recorded, of course, so you get a transcript and a summary of each call that a customer has had with your voice AI. So all of that can be routed directly into your CRM or reviewed by a human member of your team later on for quality and coaching purposes. So when we balance the implementation cost versus privacy risk, is that there is clearly there is a cost to implement a voice AI solution involving a team of us here at IT&T programming it, training it, and getting it just right for your business. There is an implementation cost there. Thankfully, it's not very high, depending on your needs and complexity, and all of that work would be scoped for you should you decide to have a dip a toe in the water and see what this actually means for your business. So in that training, we're providing information sources for the AI voice agent. So in other words, what information do you want the AI voice to provide to your clients? Ideally, we're only ever going to use a trusted source of information for that AI agent to use. And then some data privacy considerations. So again, the AI agents that IT&T have partnered up with, we do provide certain guarantees around privacy. But you also need to think about this from the types of information that you're allowing the AI voice agent to consume in responding. So for instance, you would not give, if you're in a healthcare setting, you would not give the AI voice agent complete access to your healthcare patient information, for instance, that could be used to train that data on. So, as mentioned before, a structured IVR is quite limited, and any changes that you make to your IVR generally involves costs each time you make a change. Whereas in the modern world with voice AI, that the AI is conversational and it's intuitive in the way that it responds. So in terms of efficiency, an IVR system tends to have slower navigation and users follow predefined menus and options, whereas an AI voice solution offers quicker intent resolution, enabling faster responses and a smoother user experience. And the key difference is that we can efficiently and rapidly understand user intent, reducing wait times compared to traditional IVR systems. So for instance, just talking directly to our IVR, and I want to be put through to Mary, you could just say that to the voice AI, hey, I want to just go through to Mary if I could please. And that will basically just route the call directly through to the user in your organisation. And just a point about call volume. So with a traditional IVR approach, it is limited by the number of phone lines that the business is prepared to pay for. Versus AI, we can use a single phone number and a single call route, and there is, in all practical cases, there's no limit to the amount of calls that a voice AI agent can handle. Which again is very good when your business has periods of time when there's very high call volumes that your reception staff or the people answering the call may not be able to answer. So as mentioned before, a traditional IVR has a lower initial investment cost, but may offer but versus an AI approach, which has typically a higher upfront investment in terms of paying us to program and to train the AI agent, but we believe it will promise to give a better long-term return on investment in terms of being able to answer calls 24/7, overflow calls, any call where it could potentially save one of your staff member from having to answer is a potential cost saving for the business. So where do we think that where AI comes into its own is that it may help resolve customer issues on the first contact by providing that quick and accurate response, reducing the need for follow-up. AI-driven interactions may ensure personalised and efficient service, increasing overall satisfaction levels, and automation of routine tasks allows us humans in the business to focus on more complex issues, improving workflow and response times. The great thing about some of the AI voice agents that we've developed here at IT&T is they can also do what's called a soft handover to a human. So if the AI agent is done in such a way that it needs to hand the call back to a human, it can do so while all three parties are on the call. The voice AI agent can explain to the human what they've already been through and what the customer is requesting, which then improves the customer experience by not having to repeat themselves through the whole operation. And then the human in your business is able to quickly get on top of what the customer needs and provide that solution. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give an introduction to AI in the healthcare landscape. We can use we're going to give a demonstration of using AI for a radiology clinic. And hopefully you'll see. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be dialing this AI agent using my mobile phone and putting it on speakerphone. So again, if anyone in the team here can tell me whether this is coming through loud and clear, I would really appreciate it. Good afternoon.
Thank you for calling Altus Medical Imaging. This is Joy, your virtual receptionist. How can I help you today?
Hi, Joy. I'd like to know a little bit more about Altus Medical Imaging, please.
Altus Medical Imaging is a NATA-accredited facility in Gladesville, Sydney, focused on providing precise and compassionate care. We offer a range of services including X-ray, ultrasound, Connecticut, MRI, and specialised women's and paediatric imaging. Our mission is to empower patients and healthcare providers with the visual information needed to make informed decisions about health.
Joy, can you tell me a little bit more about your ultrasound services? What sort of scans do you offer there?
Yes, of course. Our ultrasound services offer detailed pictures of the body using high-frequency sound waves. We provide obstetric imaging, which includes dating scans, nuchal translucency, morphology, and 4D scans. We also offer small parts imaging for areas like the breast, neck, and testes, as well as abdominal, pelvic, musculoskeletal, and vascular imaging.
Can you tell me what sort of technologies you have there? Are you using world-class imaging technologies? Who provides them?
Yes, we use state-of-the-art digital X-ray equipment, low-dose CT scanners, the Aperto Lucent Open MRI, 3D mammography, and advanced ultrasound equipment. Our Aperto Lucent Open MRI is provided by Fujifilm, and we also have a partnership with C-Mode for AI-enhanced thyroid ultrasound analysis and reporting software.
Who are the staff members? Who are your radiographers there? Are they good people?
Our team consists of highly qualified and accredited specialist radiologists with advanced training in their subspecialties. For example, Dr. Baina Moharami is our co-founder and managing director with a keen interest in musculoskeletal and body imaging. We also have Dr. John Pereira, a pediatric and interventional radiologist with over 20 years of experience, and Dr. Johnson Zhang, who has subspecialty interest in musculoskeletal and neuroradiology imaging.
That's great.
Dr. Andrew Kong specializes in musculoskeletal imaging.
Joy.
CT coronary angioplasty.
Joy,
Yes, how can I help you?
Could you tell me, is it possible to make an appointment for next Friday?
Yes, I can certainly help you with that. To book an appointment for next Friday, I'll just need to ask a few quick questions. May I have your full name, date of birth, and the type of scan or imaging you require? Also, do you have a referral from your doctor?
I do have a referral from my doctor. My name is Brian Hood. My date of birth is the 20th of April, 1975. And yeah, I'd like to make it for next Friday morning if possible. And I need an ultrasound, please, for my finger.
Thank you, Brian. So you're looking to book an ultrasound for your finger next Friday morning. You have a referral and your date of birth is April 20th, 1975. Could you please confirm the full date for next Friday?
Yeah, for Friday the 15th of May, please.
Thank you for confirming, Brian. So that's an ultrasound for your finger on Friday, May 15th. For Brian Hood, born April 20th, 1975, with a doctor's referral. What time next Friday morning would be best for you?
Do you have anything available around 10 o'clock?
Let me check the schedule for you. Yes, we do have a slot available at 10 o'clock next Friday morning for your ultrasound. I'm booking this appointment for you now. Your appointment has been booked successfully. You'll receive a confirmation shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
That's it, Joy. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Brian. Thank you for calling Altus Medical Imaging. Have a wonderful day.
All right. So I've just hung up from that call with Joy. As you can see, it's the language is very much Australian. Joy was done as a young female with obviously not over the top in terms of in terms of the way she responded. It was tended to be more factual. But you get the idea in terms of what's possible with voice AI now. It's flexible, it's capable. We're able to do some quite funky things as well. So it's an example we gave there where it was connected, obviously connected to the customer's CRM with their appointment booking. But we can also use voice AI to do outbound calls. We can take payments, we can read agreements that would otherwise have to have been read over to a customer via a human voice. And we can also make outputs from that call. For instance, we could do a full transcript of that call. A transcript and AI summary can be saved into the client's page in your CRM. So there's a full interaction there that can be reviewed at any time. I'll just move on to the last couple of slides now, and then we'll have a few minutes at the end for any questions. So I just wanted to say, what some of the use cases are. So in financial services, for instance, We could use the voice AI for any sort of secure transaction, so ensuring the safety and confidentiality of financial data during transactions, providing that real-time support and fraud detection using AI algorithms. We could adhere to financial regulation standards for data security and user authentication, so we can implement multi-factor authentication for secure access, for instance. So the second to last slide is so just some future trends that we believe that voice AI is taking us is we'll be able to use biometrics. So voice from a known user would be recorded, and using voice AI would not interact or would limit interaction for users that their voice does not match what the voice AI has got saved in that biometric information. So again, this is be important for securely accessing confidential information that the voice AI may be able to repeat back to members of staff if their voice AI checked out. Also, and this is an exciting development we believe, is that as the voice AI builds capability, it's also got the capability to do what's called emotion detection, and then providing information back to the business about things like if the voice AI can detect the customer's angry or upset, the voice AI can quickly identify that and transfer the call back to a human in your organisation. But down the track, as we add potentially video to this whole ecosystem, it will analyse facial expression, as I said before, body language, engage feeling, and to enhance that customer service experience. There's a big push on for what we call omni-channel experience. So this is something that's very much interesting for IT&T, looking at opening up different ways our customers could interact with our team here at IT&T. At the moment, most of our tickets come through from email. We've also, as we discussed last webinar, we've opened up a new portal, a customer portal for our customers to be able to submit tickets and get real-time information about the various services that they have with IT&T. But we know that customers may, for instance, want to interact with our team via a Teams chat. So all of these things combined are what is known in the industry as omni-channel. So in other words, we provide multiple different ways for our clients to be able to interact with the business. And you could imagine AI sitting over the top of this. So if a customer wants to initiate a Teams channel chat with one of our technicians, for instance, we might be able to integrate an AI agent there first, see if we can do some basic troubleshooting with the client on their IT issue before it then gets escalated through to one of our staff members to assist. So yeah, we believe the future is very bright in this space. The last slide from me is just a bit of a summary and just on what we've talked about today. So which customers should adopt which technology? So IVR, which we believe remains useful for those simple routing tasks or for very small businesses that may not even need an IVR, but a small business of 5 or 10 users may not need a voice AI, and a simple IVR may be sufficient. It ensures that quick direction of callers to an appropriate service agent or department. Whereas we think the future is more towards voice AI and the complex interactions that IVR suddenly looks a little outdated. So there are risks associated with voice AI, and one of those being an over-reliance. We would caution any one to not do a proper implementation of voice AI. You do need to put in the work to ensure that the voice AI is behaving the way we'd expect. And often it requires a lot of ongoing maintenance and optimization. So there may be some very edge cases that the voice AI did not behave the way we expected it to, and we would go back and tweak the model a little bit for the voice AI agent to make sure that it's working well. And we also recommend that it's a slow implementation. So, for instance, a business may well have plenty of great staff that are answering, most of the calls in the business at the moment. A slow and proper integration or implementation might be that you're only using the voice AI for after hours calls or overflow calls when your team are all already in on calls with your clients. That we believe is a pretty good way of implementing voice AI. So with that, I'll finish the presentation now and I'll open up the channel for any questions or comments from today. And I'll just go to chat. And we've got a question from a practice manager at Shell Harbour, and the question was, will the AI assistant be able to see notes on the patient appointment software? That's a good question. We have been doing some preliminary work with best practice and medical director. At this stage, there's a bit more work to be done there, and the great limitation here is not on IT&T or the voice agents that we use. The limitation is actually on the medical software. We seem to be getting a lot further with radiology software than we are with general practice software at this point in time. Nevertheless, we still think there is a use case for GP clinics, even without integration to the medical software. That hopefully that was demonstrated when we went through that call with the radiology clinic just now. Some other questions is, yep, I think I've answered that for Kerry. Will it work with all patient software? It is highly dependent on the software that you use and that software company's willingness to share what's called an API with us or with anybody. We've got a question here from Mutweri. Does the client, what if the client doesn't speak English? And this is the great thing about voice AI is that you can definitely engage the voice AI for all sorts of different languages, and it will automatically respond. So if the client answers the phone in a language other than English, the voice AI will within a few seconds understand that different language and then respond natively in the caller's language. So it's very powerful in that regard, and particularly here where we headquartered in the Illawarra, we have something like 160 different language groups here in the Illawarra. So we think there's a powerful use case there for businesses to support. Mutweri, the Swahili and other African languages, it does a lot depend on the model, and it's been built out all the time with more and more languages. What I understood, the models that we are using support around about 20 or 30 different languages currently. So certainly not all languages are in there at this point. So I'm just going through all the questions here. Serge has answered a lot of those questions. The other great thing, and I touched on this before, is the outbound calling. So for instance, you might have a link to your appointment book, and you could do an outbound call to a client maybe the morning of an appointment or the afternoon before, to say, hey, just a reminder that you've got your appointment with the business tomorrow at 3 p.m. If you've got any, you could program it for reminders as well. So you might be able to program it to remind the customer to bring along their referral, or to bring along those legal documents that that needed to be brought. Again, the imagination, the limitation of what we can do with the voice AI is pretty much limited by your imagination and how you work. So, were there any other questions that people had on the call today? No. Look, just in the interest of time, I'm 2 minutes over time. I'm just to let everyone go back to their work. Just a reminder. Oh, what are the costs? Good question. Look, depending on the level of integration, we are looking at around about, give or take, depending on call volumes, around about $1 per call is an indicative costs that we're looking to implement for the voice AI solution, plus an implementation cost. And again, the implementation all depends on how complex you need us to be. So, but all of that would be fully scoped for you prior to agreeing, prior to us doing any work. So you'll have a full understanding of what you'll be getting from us. But give or take, yeah, around about that $1 per phone call, which we believe is incredibly reasonable for what we have these days. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining our monthly webinar today. As I said, we try very much to be these to be very much a learning exercise, and to open up different possibilities for your business. As always, welcome to get in touch with me directly, or our team here at IT&T, for if there's anything that's questions that have been raised out of today. Very much appreciate your time, and thanks again. Talk soon.